Hello, it's Tim here from Stowhill Estates Berkshire and welcome to Stowhill Estates Meets. Today we're going to be meeting with Rachel from Preloved Print, so let's pop inside and see her pop-up. Rachel, thanks for joining us today. I thought a good place to start might be explaining where we are and why we are here.
So today we're at Winner's Triangle. I'm here to do a pop-up to showcase my sustainable clothing, my little business, because it's recycling week this week. So I've been kindly invited along to showcase my business, to tell people about sustainable clothing, the positive impact it can make, and the benefits of pre-loved shopping.
Love it. And you do a lot of pop-ups, right? I mean, that's kind of the core of how you take your products to market.
Exactly. So my business at the moment is online, and the in-person part of it is through events, pop-ups, shopping parties at home.
Love it.
And lots of kind of events and categories. So.
And as you guys will be able to see, so we are literally in the foyer of an office building. We've got all of human life happening behind us. So we've got people coming and going, and that's the idea, right? So that you've got access to a market, and it's an organic market, and they happen to be able to pop in and out, literally, and experience the clothing on the way through. Exactly that. So what got you into this line of work? How did this start? Tell me the backstory.
So yeah, a slightly funny story. I actually made an overnight decision.
Brilliant.
Literally on a whim. Slight change in personal circumstances at home. My husband took voluntary redundancy, and I was like, right, I want something for myself. So yeah, pretty much overnight went, okay, what do I love? I've always loved a bargain. I've always loved shopping, and actually I'm a researcher by trade, so I wasn't in the fashion industry. However, I've been involved with clothing, different occasions, different events, different types of things. You know, it's a bit of a sign when you have loads of rails in your loft. You know, when you go, oh, well, this will be easy. I've already got the rails. So yeah, I basically decided that I wanted to use my kind of research powers and showcase really lovely boutique brands that people don't know about, try to make shopping significantly more fun and enjoyable than it is at the moment. The high street, bless it, is dying a death. There isn't as much choice. Yes, we can all shop online, but that comes with lots of problems, really. You know, you have to return things, you have to then track your returns, check you got your money back, and there's so much waste involved in that. So, yeah, I kind of came up with the idea overnight, wanted to showcase how amazing there are. There's so many stunning brands out there that people don't know about. So to try and educate people and show that you can buy some beautiful dresses for so much less when you shop Preloved. So you can add some colour and print to your wardrobe. So yes, that's the other thing. So I'm called Preloved Print, and I decided to specialise in prints and colour because it's a bit different, and also I'm from my marketing kind of research background. You're actually better off if people love you or hate you, because it's a bit of a talking point. So even if people are like, oh yeah, there's this lady who sells Preloved clothing and it's all print and colour and vibrancy. Yeah. You know, they know what I stand. They might not buy from me, but they know what I stand for.
Avoid ambiguity at all costs.
Exactly.
Make people feel something, right?
Exactly. I'm definitely not bland. And as everyone said, it's good to be Marmite. So yes, you're either going to love my clothing, which is similar to what I'm wearing, tend to be quite nice, bright colours, different colour prints.
Fantastic.
I've had prints in all sorts of things: cheetahs, cherries, leaves, swans. Yeah, you name it.
So that overnight decision that you made, how long ago was that? How long have you kind of been running the business now?
So my business is a year old.
Oh, fantastic.
It was a year on the 1st of March.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. And it's been a real whirlwind. Yeah, it's been amazing. Kind of, you know, you start your business and you think it's going to go one way, and of course it evolves and goes a completely different way. So yeah, it's been a real learning, but really enjoyable and still loving it.
I'd love to explore a bit kind of what you were saying about the research side of things and finding these brands that people perhaps aren't aware of. How do you go about doing that?
I follow, you know, a few people who really know kind of the industry, and I want to try and showcase slightly more sustainable brands. So I do a bit of research around there. Yeah, but basically just spend my time kind of online learning about different companies and the way they make their products. And yeah, I was doing research on a dress that I purchased about a week ago, and found out that they're all hand dyed in small batches. So because that's the way they're made, they're completely unique. Yeah. And you know, they weren't crazy expensive to begin with, and obviously with me they're only 40, 50 pounds or something. So yeah, I spend a bit of time online trying to find out about these brands, and then, you know, hunt out the dresses to buy.
So there's a genuine kind of connection between your suppliers and your inventory, because you are literally hand-picking dresses or collections or certain pieces to be able to then bring to events like this.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Because, so you were mentioning kind of the conflict, I guess, if you like, between online and high street.
Yeah.
And my background, weirdly, is actually pre-estate agency was online.
Oh, really?
And there's this concept that lots of online manufacturers and resellers talk about called showrooming, which is where they try and turn their online experience into a physical experience as much as possible. So that's why people have started using things like, you know, virtual fittings or AI fittings and that type of things. But actually, the advantage of doing it this way is you do get to touch and feel, and you can feel the material and the fabric, and you can see how things hang and fall and that type of thing. So that must be a real point of differentiation as well. But also, you're bringing it to people here.
Exactly. So I am like the travelling boutique. So either I'll be coming to events or offices like this, or I'll be taking it to people's home to provide a really nice, enjoyable shopping experience. I think we all used to have more time, and the high street used to offer so much more variety that people who are interested in shopping, they used to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then since the evolution of fast fashion, the quality has decreased dramatically. So the joy I think you get isn't quite the same as it was a few decades ago. So I do think people miss out, and I think people also have forgotten what like silk feels like, because only really high-end brands are stocking it. So this gives people the choice, the variety, and, you know, like you say, the ability to actually try on and feel and touch without the hassle of having to either go back to the high street, which happens less and less, or, you know, go back to your post office or take it back to Next, but you have to do all the packaging and then you have to track it. And also, I think everyone thinks that, oh, it's fine, you know, I picked a few sizes out, I ordered it online, but it's the impact, you know, that packaging then has to, you know, that parcel has to go somewhere. Very rarely does it stay in that Next shop and get put back on the shelf, because Next now stock a whole plethora of brands. So it's brilliant. They're providing a great service, but it does come at a cost to the environment and to our time as well. So time and wallet. It's a
great concept. And I was doing a bit of stalking, because I like to do a little bit of stalking before we have these chats. Did you not win an award recently?
I did win an award. Yeah. That's right, Tim.
Tell me about that.
So in all honesty, knew nothing about it. I literally got an email saying, congratulations,
Best kind of email.
Won an award. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I did a little bit of research, and they're relatively new kind of, I don't know really what the right word, they're called Looks Life magazine.
Yeah.
So they're a relatively new concept, and they are trying to showcase the best of a variety of brands. I think they've got a few different categories. Obviously, I was in the fashion one. Literally out of the blue, got an email telling me I'd won this award.
But how nice is that? That means that somebody is out there paying attention to what you're doing.
I know, which is really incredible. And also, I really like the title of the award. I think it was Most Vibrant Boutique, like Preloved Boutique. And I was like, bang on. I mean, that's just perfect description of what I do.
It couldn't be any more befitting. Right?
Yes. So that was really exactly. Honestly, I was so surprised and really flattered. So yeah.
So let's join the dots a bit, because people might be sitting there thinking, well, how come, Tim, that you're sitting talking to Rachel?
Yeah.
And so maybe you could explain how we came to be in contact.
So I do a bit of networking to make, it's quite isolated. I work by myself, so I really enjoy networking for a variety of reasons. Meeting other small businesses, understanding their journey, their expertise, you know, making friends, making connections. I met your wife, Julia.
Yep.
At
Julia,
Berkshire,
who's behind the camera at the moment.
At Berkshire Mummies, a networking event. A little while ago, at least 6 months, if not a bit longer, and we connected, became quite friendly, and Julie's been very supportive of my business and has purchased a few items from me, which is lovely.
One of which she's wearing,
she is.
I believe.
She is wearing
We'll do
today.
a cutaway to the dress later, Jules. You can do a modelling manoeuvre.
That's how we met.
So the networking thing, because Berkshire Mummies is a great networking group.
It really is.
It's got such an incredible social following as well. And I know that there's other networking events that you're part of and that we're also part of as well. As an independent business and as somebody who is predominantly, as you say, kind of working by yourself, how much of a impact do you think that has on your sort of schedule in terms of knowing that you've got something where you're going to go and see people and talk to people?
I really do enjoy it when I look at my week and I kind of, I've got a huge to-do list. There's always so many things when you work by yourself and you run your own small business. It's a real highlight of the week because I know I'm going to at least get out there and see people, and it's genuinely not about selling. And I think people who go to networking hoping to make some sort of sale, I think they're missing out, because for me it's about making contacts, it's about picking people's brains about how they've evolved their business, what they've learned. I use Shopify for my website, and there's a lot of other small businesses who use it, and it's great to be able to, if I'm having a challenge, to be able to go, oh, I know somebody who I met through networking. I can drop them an email and go, oh, I've just, they might not have the answer, but if they don't, they might know somebody who does. So it just makes me feel a lot more connected, less isolated, and actually a lot more motivated after I've been to a networking session to, because no doubt at some point during the session, somebody would have raised something about marketing or sales that's given me food for thought. And I'm, I must go back and look at that, or, kind of do some work on that. So
it's a great thing. I mean, one of the, I suppose, risks, I guess, of running, a sort of an independent business is the fact that a lot of the time you're left to your own devices, which is brilliant in one box, but then the other box is sometimes you want a bit more social interaction, or you want actually to be able to bounce ideas off people, like you say.
You do indeed. And actually self-motivation is very challenging when you're at home. And also, so I work from home. I don't have a separate office space. My husband works from home quite a bit. So quite often, even if I'm like, right, no, today I'm going to be doing some website coding and I'm going to sit down, I end up doing it in the kitchen. Of course, I'm a mum, I've got 2 children. So what do I end up, I'll do a bit and then I might be like, oh, the washing needs doing. So actually what networking has really given me, especially since the start of this year, is just a bit more rigour, actually. I've been a lot more motivated and definitely been spending more hours on my business and actually prioritising my business. Whilst I think maybe, when you first start, I was like, my business was kind of slot in, and whilst now, no, it's my priority. And actually it's really, proving that when you prioritise things and give them more attention, of course they're going to grow in the right ways.
Good things happen.
Exactly.
I would like to change gear a bit, if that's all right. Let's rewind a second to when you are sitting in the kitchen doing a bit of work. And let's imagine that you didn't have washing and cooking and
everything else
homeworks and things to do. Let's say that you were about to answer the door to your guests for the evening who are popping around for a dinner party. We're going to play fantasy dinner party.
Okay.
Who are you inviting to your table this evening for dinner?
So I decided to invite the Queen, because she's met everyone.
Fascinating, yeah.
So she's met everyone. She was the most remarkable lady, and I think she'd have some really great tales. And given she's dead, I don't think she'd mind, like recounting them.
I think
What's the thing
happy,
when she was alive, she might not have been that open. So I'm hoping, in her next life, she might come back and be very open and tell some funny stories.
What are you cooking for the Queen?
No, I haven't even thought that far. No idea.
She might have a favourite. There's probably some royalists out there. So she was a big fan of Greg's sausage rolls. Something. Get those in. Okay, so we've got the Queen, and she's probably head of the table.
It
would seem like the right thing to do.
Right, I have to be head of the table. Next up, I'd have Elton John, because I think he's amazing.
And he knows the Queen quite well.
And he knows the Queen.
So they'd have a lot to talk about.
They'd have a lot to talk about. And he would have the most amazing stories. So I want to come away with loads of anecdotes from this dinner party. So it has to give me something, obviously. And then the other person I want to invite is Ryan Reynolds.
And why is Ryan there?
Because
big
he's
Wrexham
gorgeous.
fan?
No, but I'm hoping he might have some like Ted Lasso type, kind of comedy elements to it. And he's so funny.
He's very funny.
So I can look at him and he can make me laugh.
He's an excellent addition from a visual aspect.
Exactly.
But also brings a lot to the party.
That's what I thought, all three. So I can basically just sit there and listen and cook the food
I
and
see.
serve
This is
them.
actually quite sensible. So you've basically created like an organic situation where you can just kind of sit back and
Yeah,
let
exactly.
things roll.
It's got nothing to do with me. It's almost like I'm just hosting
with
them.
a notepad.
Exactly.
You can
Be recording every word.
This will all be in the book.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. So the plan is have the dinner party and then write the book and make my millions. So
Memoirs.
Yeah, exactly.
Memoirs of dinner with the Queen. It sounds like a good evening. Okay, so the other question that I do like to throw at people is superpowers. You've got one day with one superpower. What are you choosing and why?
I'd like to fly. I
Yeah.
think, I'd really like to fly.
Fly or teleport? Is the objective to get somewhere or to actually the sensation of flight?
You know what? Teleport, yes.
Yeah.
To be able to go, I quite fancy being on Bondi Beach this afternoon. Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I get a lift?
Yeah.
There must be the opportunity to teleport more than one of us at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll go together.
We'll make sure we picked out some clothes first.
There we go.
Yeah.
Pick some wardrobe and then we'll go this afternoon. Yeah, definitely teleportation.
So we're just kind of spring equinox, I think, was yesterday. I read somewhere.
It was indeed, yes.
So it's the perfect time of year to be having a bit of a wardrobe refresh.
Yep.
Picking out some new pieces.
Yep.
But equally, it's that sort of time of year where, in our industry as well, where people start to become sort of very forward-looking, right? The housing market gets very active in spring as well.
Yeah.
Because people are thinking about, the rest of the year and the future. What does the future hold for you this year? What have you got in store with Preloved Print?
The future. So I'm going to be definitely marketing my shopping parties more, and that's definitely something I want to prioritise and focus on. I think I've held a few so far, and they've been given great feedback, and it's just a really lovely way to shop.
Yeah.
Get a few friends round. I just bring all the rails to their house.
Nice.
And, it's have a couple of glasses, have a natter with friends, do a bit of shopping at the same time. So, yes, that's my big goal for this year, to get them launched, communicated, make people aware that I'm offering that service. And hopefully that will it's just inspire more people actually to consider Preloved and realise that it can be easy. There are obviously certain avenues with shopping that are a bit tricky, and Preloved doesn't come without risk.
Yeah.
I can definitely say that. One person's definition of very good quality is definitely not the same as the next person's. So I'm hoping to showcase that. So that's my big goal.
Nice. That's it's a great way to kind of, I suppose, focus on something that you've had success with already.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a part of what you were talking about earlier was, in the first year, you've been a bit flexible and pivoted and direction have changed. And actually, that's now, by the sounds of it, an angle that you've tried and tested this year that you're thinking this is where the direction of travel looks like we're going.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope people will, consider it and be open to it. So we all just see how it evolves. But yeah, I've had really good feedback so far and people just enjoy it. I think we've become so busy, I think, post-COVID, and actually the occasions for women to get together, just a circle of friends, to do something a bit different. There aren't as many as there were previously, so hopefully this will offer something a bit different.
Nice.
And fun.
Nice. Well, I think that where we are now, for the remainder of the year, the weather's turning and everybody starts to look a bit more optimistic and that type of thing. But in terms of kind of your focus and moving into doing more of those parties and events, does that bring with it potential kind of growth, expansion? Are you thinking, I'd like to be in a position where I'm doing more than one of these at the same time, so I need somebody helping me with it? Like, what's the longer term?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I am only a year old, so I'm still a very baby business at the moment. A lot of people say, do you fancy having, a retail space? Do you actually fancy having a shop? At the moment, that's not on my radar. I do, though, on occasions, like for today, for instance, just setting up in an office, having an assistant would be amazing. So if I ever get to a stage where I genuinely think I could afford somebody to help me, I think it would help my business for me to be able to play the part that I do well, and for somebody else to be able to support me. But as to when that might happen. We shall see how things evolve. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to have, you know, bookings every week, to be able to do 2 events every week regularly and, you know, have a full calendar. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah.
And I want to come back to something you mentioned a minute ago in terms of people's different definitions of very good quality or, you know, only worn once and all the things that I'm sure that you come across.
Perils of pre-loved shopping.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, perils.
Yeah.
I would imagine that there have been a number of occasions where things perhaps haven't been what you anticipated them being, or
Oh yeah.
tell me a bit about how you guard against it, but also there must have been some howlers.
Well, yes, actually, literally this morning, I source quite a lot of my stock online. I've got various places I go to, you know, that I know sell the brands that I like. And I picked up a few packages because Julian will know I had 2 events last Friday. And unfortunately, I sold quite a lot of stock, so kind of hopped back onto my, you know, favourite places to shop and ordered quite a few bits and pieces. So picked up a few parcels this morning, and yeah, the one dress arrived had holes in it.
Not intentionally, I presume.
I would never obviously buy anything with, but, you know, like I would only buy stuff that's described as immaculate.
Yeah.
And another dress had like stains under the armpits, you know. So I know what I'm hoping to do. My service, you know, yes, of course, I'm not as cheap as Vinted. Of course, I'm not. So what I'm hoping to do is offer a really great service where, like you say, you can at least hold the dress up, you can look at it, you can try it on, you can feel the fabric, you can check the quality. And yes, you're paying a bit more from that because you can't do that somewhere like Vinted. Yeah. It's an absolute pain. And like I said, you know, you end up like me with dresses at wholesale. So they will be going back, but that's a whole pain in itself. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is offer a service. So yes, I'm a retailer, but with it, it's a pre-loved service. And what I'm also trying to do is I've got a few regular customers now, which is really lovely. And when I see a few things that I think, oh, they might like that. So yeah, trying to offer a bit more bespoke service.
That's nice. Like a personal shopping service almost.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And to make sure that everything I sell is immaculate, so that nobody's looking, you know, yes, they might not like that dress, but the reason why they don't like it is just to do with the colours and everything else is not to do with anything to do with the quality. So I deal with that for you. That's the service you get.
You take on that hassle part.
Yes, yeah, that's one element of my business that, you know, is kind of to be expected. But back to your question as to how do I try and overcome, I try, if I'm buying direct from another seller, I will message them and, you know, ask them to double check the quality before they post it.
Yeah. That
on the whole normally overcomes it, but some people,
you never know.
They just aren't, you know, they just don't. And I wouldn't, to be fair, I've got high standards, but when somebody describes it as very, very good, I would expect it to be very good.
Yeah, there's an element of trust.
Yeah, there has to be an element of trust. And some people do genuinely, you know, don't spot that, say, you know, I've got 2 buttons on my dress, maybe one's missing.
Right.
That's an oversight.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. But yeah, a couple of things that I've received this morning, I was like, they are not oversight. You said just, you know, absolute rubbish stock. So yeah, so I do that for people basically. That's the bonus you get from buying direct from me.
It's another massive value add.
Exactly.
Well, look, it's been lovely chatting to you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks very much for making the time to catch up with us.
No problem.
And I hope that we'll be seeing you very soon at a networking event near us.
I will be there.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you very much. Thanks.